I think what we need is allies. I know I've been tooting this horn for a while, but it's still what I firmly believe.
And I will agree.
But we need the right allies. I agree with you that we need allies, but we need the
Koshano, I think this might be a perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and get allies. I'll stand by you for sure, with the paladins and the clerics here.
Paladins and the clerics aren't going to be enough.
Black Wind.
I don't think the paladins and the clerics are the kind of help we need.
Give it a shot.
I'm going to walk into the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go into this place, there is a number. There are some pews lined up for worship, and there's also a altar, and the altar depicts a skeletal arm, kind of rising up, holding some scales.
What kind of scales?
Like
balance scales?
Like balancing scales.
Okay.
Not dragon scales.
Yeah,
not like
scales, fish scales. I don't know.
It's just like a handful.
Yeah.
I'm going to approach the altar.
All right.
And Jobetta's just kind of like following Koshano just to watch what he's doing, by the way.
Yeah, I'll take a knee at the altar.
All right.
You know, Kalimvor, I've never cared much for the whims of gods. Because I've never been convinced that any of you cared much for me. Normally, the powerful beings that come to visit us unsolicited are trying to kill us, but I assume you would have done that long ago if that was your goal. I think about my life now, and I realize there is one God who's always been right beside me, whether I like it or not, who's sort of dictated the path of my life. And death has been following me since I can remember. But you left me alone. I think the things we have to do are your sort of work. So if you can see fit to lend some assistance, that would be much appreciated. I'm not, don't ask me to take any sort of oath. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, I think we find ourselves on the same side in this moment. And I'm going to take the obsidian blood drinker out and lay it at the foot of the altar. This thing doesn't seem to want to be pitted against the undead, and it seems that everything we're going to need to fight in the near future is undead, so I don't know. This just seems like the sort of thing you wouldn't be keen on having out in the world, so I don't know if this counts as an offering, but do with it what you will. And I'll stand and step back.
All right.
Stunned.
Jobetta's jaw just drops. She's just like, he does know how to pray.
You guys go to your quarters, you're fairly well laid out, and you can go to sleep there. During the night.
Great. I hate that. I hate when you say those words.
Koshano, a figure comes to you in the night.
In my sleep or
in your sleep?
Has Koshano ever spent the night in a temple before?
No. And you're not sure if this is a dream or not, but you awake. And Jobetta is trancing and Lilith is asleep. And a figure is waiting by the door. And it greets you warmly
Oh, it's
and
not scary.
says, Koshano, I've heard your requests. Let's walk and talk.
Ooh.
All right. Do I recognize the figure?
It's the figure is almost like a bright light and a dark shadow.
All right. Let's talk.
And you and the figure walk out into the hallway and leave everyone behind in the room. You are walking
Shut up, Roomba.
with this
Sorry.
presence. And you leave the temple and you're walking along the row of temples.
So, just to verify, is that you who we gave a ride to out here?
Yes, it was.
Insight check. I'm gonna check the odds.
Inside check. Now that I know you're a god, I'm definitely gonna inside check you.
Yeah, you feel that's legit.
All right.
He says, it was a remarkable thing. You are a faithless man of the kind I rarely see. You have no faith in your friends. You have no faith in yourself. And you certainly don't have any faith in any higher powers. I don't say these things to chastise you. I say them as facts.
I don't disagree with them.
So when I received your request, when I heard your ask for assistance, it was a remarkable thing.
Desperate times, I suppose.
Desperate times. You could benefit from a small amount of faith, Koshano. Faith that you can surpass these obstacles in front of you, and faith that the people around you have the tools to do so as well, and to aid you. But I'm not here to lecture you, because you get enough of that everywhere else.
I appreciate that.
I'm here to help. What happened to Cookie was out of my control. The final scribe acts beyond my wishes sometimes. He is very old and his power dwarfs my own. However, I do not agree with his decision. The undead are aberrations. They lead to a fear of death, and death is a necessary thing in this world. It needs to happen. If there were no death, the world would spiral into chaos. When I took on this position, I wanted to make death not something foreboding, but like a passing of the seasons. Something that simply must occur and can be remembered from the fondness gained when it was there. There are others who seek to pervert this role, send the world into undead armies and chaos. In many ways, the final scribe believes in the older ways. But I cannot allow Blackwind to continue to exist. You understand?
I'm glad we agree on that front.
So, and you notice now you're getting towards his temple. I'm going to give you a tool to aid you. No oaths, no requests, simply aid, and all I ask in return is that you do good with it.
How can I know? How can I know what I'm doing is good?
Because you are very good at rooting out the intentions of people around you who are not. And I've seen it now in your ability to outright refuse over and over again the ones who would make you powerful but then enslave you.
You should know that if we should be successful in our immediate defense, my ambitions go well beyond Blackwind.
Then, as long as you continue to make an effort to follow your gut, to do what you think is right in the world, then you and I will be on the same field, on the same side. And then you've finally gone all the way inside the temple, and he reaches out and he picks up your blade.
Does it look different?
Yeah, it is changed almost immediately by his touch. And the red gem now has almost like a black and red yin-yang symbol in it. And the obsidian edge of it becomes silvered. Thank you so much, Eddie. And he hands it over to you. This is now the obsidian soul sever. It will cut the connections between undead and their puppeteers. And if you can drive it into Blackwind's heart, you can reverse the bargain.
Reverse the bargain made with the final scribe?
Yes.
On a typical undead, does severing the connection, would it render them ineffective, or?
They would become inert. For spectral undead, it may help them calm their souls and move to the other side.
I suppose
but this should be of great aid to you in the fight to come.
I have faith that it will.
And more faith is something you will find better value in, sir. Good luck beyond the wall, Koshano. And
you should know, you probably do know, against my better judgment and prior experience, I'm trusting you on this.
I'm trusting you. I hope
As I
neither of
said-
us are disappointed.
As I said, looking back, I realize you've spent quite a bit of time over my shoulder in one way or another.
Yeah,
I appreciate you not claiming me thus far.
it wasn't your time. There are two paths set in front of you. One that leads to terrible things and one that leads to good things. But no path comes without suffering. It's not for me to determine which course you take. I just want to give you your best chance.